We've got the game coming your way next. She's Andrea Carter. I'm Shay Cornett. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've got NC State and Stanford coming your way right now.
Welcome to the ACC on ESPN. Hoover Tower overlooking the campus of Stanford University as the Cardinal gets set to host the Wolfpack of NC State. They come in ranked number 21 in the country. A Final Four team a year ago and trying to work their way back, and for Stanford, a new era with a new coach and a whole new conference to deal with. They are coming off their very first win in the ACC midweek. I'm Beth Mullins, alongside the Naismith Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli, and the Wolfpack feature one of the best backcourts in the country, led by Isaiah James.
If you're going to go on the road in this league or any other to win, you have to have a great group of backcourt players. Wes Moore, the head coach, has got several, including Isaiah James, the leading scorer. She's a bucket getter. She's fantastic at creating separation. She's also good in a catch-and-shoot game. When she's on, NC State plays their best, and she can get hot in a hurry. In a late game, they're going to dump the playbook on her. She can make plays and make buckets and help NC State on the offensive end. On the other side for Stanford, when they are playing their best basketball, and I think they're playing it right now, it is about switching sides in transition, playing through the paint, playing through the elbow, setting up their three-point shooting, and also setting up their back doors. They get a great combination and balance of ball movement, unselfish play, and they've got 5 players that can knock down triples most of the time on the floor. This is a very well put together game plan by head coach Kate Pay.
They've been dynamite at home, 9-0, bashing opponents. On the road, a different story, 0-6. And they need some momentum to take with them when they leave again this week. They still have 3 trips remaining in ACC play to head back to the East Coast. Kate Pay is the new head coach here, replacing the legend Tara Vanderveer. Kate, a longtime assistant who also starred here as a player. Her entire family tree, also members of the Stanford tree, pun intended. Her 16th game as a head coach for Wes Moore, over 1,000. And in fact, amongst the active coaches in men's and women's college ball, only Gino Auriemma has more wins than Wes does.
Part of that spectacular run to the Final Four last year for NC State was through the Stanford Cardinal, and it was a Sweet 16 victory that propelled NC State into a win over Texas, who we just saw play right before us, into the Final Four.
Isaiah James had a big game last year in the Sweet 16. Can she do it again? Road Reds for State, home whites for Stanford.
NC State will play man-to-man defense, and they have to be engaged on the weak side because Stanford is tremendous at moving the ball. 51% of their baskets are assisted. That's a good number.
Brooke Dimitri off the mark, and there's James with the weak side rebound. Here comes Sanaya Rivers as you check out the starting 5 for NC State. They all played at least 34 minutes. Rivers the full 40 in a loss across the bay to Cal midweek.
One of the things to watch for NC State is number 22 in red, Sanaya Rivers, one of the better two-way players in the nation. Here she is with a rebound, and she can get NC State's transition game up the floor in a hurry.
Everybody with a touch around the perimeter. Madison Hayes, that shot won't go. Elena Bazgana, the 6'2 senior from Greece, with the rebound. They've been moving some folks around a bit. Agara is their star player. Shea Ijiwoye, the Arizona Player of the Year, is a prepper emerging in their lineup as Bazgana gets the putback.
One of the things Stanford always has, Beth, is perimeter size, and that perimeter size just showed itself on the glass.
James loses her defender, sidesteps the 3. And Chloe Clardy will push the other way. She and Ijiwoye provide a little more speed, a little more quickness. Can they also provide the shooter's touch? And there's a triple for Stanford.
When you take the ball to the baseline in transition, you flatten out the top of the floor, and that gives Ijiwoye an opportunity to have space to knock down that triple and get herself organized.
It's going to be a big story today. Stanford, the third best three-point shooting team in the nation. And a bit of an Achilles heel defensively for NC State. They have allowed 5 opponents to hit 10 or more in a game this year.
I'm going with the number 12 as the magic number. If Stanford hits 12 threes today, I think they win. If NC State's defense can cause havoc and get 12 steals, and that's a lot, but there's going to be a lot of possessions for that to happen, then NC State can win on the road.
Trigger, beneficiary of a nice inbounds play. And there's a steal for Brooks. So can they score off the turnovers? And not on this occasion. Especially the live ball ones, a big stat for NC State today.
And see, look how Stanford gets back in transition and builds a wall. There was no space for Zoe Brooks, and she tried to force something. It'd be better off pulling it back out and running your offense. Because NC State's only scored on a baseline out-of-bounds play so far.
Boscana, nice feed. Chloe Clardy on the back door for the sophomore from Conway, Arkansas.
This could be a slice and dice game. Listen, Beth, this is one of the better cutting teams in women's basketball. I'm so impressed by Kate Pay's offensive havoc. Some of that's a derivative of all of her time with Tara Vanderveer, the iconic legend here. But it's also about what you do every day, what you emphasize, how you teach. This is just a great backdoor cut, and if you don't have good ball pressure and allow vision, and you don't jump to the ball against Kate Pay's offense, they're going to make you pay.
They've added a few transfers, some significant losses, of course, to graduation and into the portal. But the main rotation are still Stanford women that have been around in the program.
Westmore going to his bench a little bit early. He told us before the game, to your point about the starters playing over 30 minutes, he needed to go a little bit deeper today to get some people some rest.
Dimitri, one of their captains. And here comes James. Drops it off for Hayes. Open look for Madison. Trigger able to tip it to herself. And then they turn it over.
Okay, Trigger gets a great weak side rebound, but this young woman at 6'6", with the work in the weight room in the offseason, is going to be so much better. Right there, that's a weight room turnover, okay? She hit 4 threes in the last game. She's 6'6". She has an incredible skill set. She keeps working. You can see her improvement if you've been paying attention to NC State.
That's a travel. Yeah, so for the Wolfpack along the front line, 2 of their top players, or who they expected to be the first 2 in their rotation, are both out with injuries. So they've tried several different players in that spot, and Trigger now starting for the 4th game in a row.
She gives them some rim presence with a shot blocking presence, but she also can stretch in their pick and pop game. And when Westmore's teams are at their best, it's 4 out, 1 in, with a 5 that can step away from the bucket.
Trigger gets loose inside, and a good find by the freshman Devin Quigley.
NC State still without the services of Zam Jones, their scoring freshman in the backcourt, dealing with a hand issue.
It's going to be a foul on Boscana for setting an illegal screen.
2 buckets for NC State, both belong to their 6'6" freshman Trigger. Good movement without the basketball by Trigger to free herself and make herself available to Quigley.
State has opened up 2 of 9. Another good cut to the rim, and Hayes scores, assisted by Rivers.
Really nice curl off that elbow screen. Nice delivery.
It's an NC State team that has been stewing over a Cal loss, one they think that got away to a good Cal team, a ranked opponent. But 3 extra days out here to think about it on the West Coast.
Not a bad 3 days either. Beautiful out here. Palo Alto, gorgeous.
they've started out 0 of 4 from downtown, and here comes Ghana. Nice drive and the kick out. And Ijiwoye with another 3.
1 for 8 coming into the game outside the arc. She's hit 2 triples already. One of the questions we had for Coach Kate Pay was, what kind of offensive threat is she? We know she's a downhill driver. Wow.
Rivers kind of shrugs that one off. Hey, you're going to go under on me. I'll put it up.
I mean, that's the way you guard her, and you know Kate Pate's all about the analytics here. It's a little bit of nerd ball, they like to call it, but it definitely works in their favor.
Yes. Another drive and kick. This time, Aguera out to Clardy.
I don't think you ever help off the strong side shooter in the corner, and NC State did.
So we talked about getting to 12 triples. They've got 3 already, and they get the offensive foul. Shea with taking the charge.
Rivers with a delivery. Good ball fake by Hayes inside. And then Nunu with the kick.
Well, some of the biggest shoes to fill in the history of the game. Kate Pay stepping in for Tara Vanderveer, who retired after 38 years on the farm with 3 national championships. But Kate knows her way around town, Debbie. An alum herself, has been a part of 2 of those championship runs. And, of course, for Kate Pay's entire family, mom, dad, bro, sis, all Cardinal.
I think Kate Pay was born to be the coach at Stanford. She waited for Coach Tara Vanderveer to retire. She was announced when Coach Vanderveer was ready to step aside. That, as we take a look at Tara up there checking out her cell phone, she doesn't have a flip phone, by the way. She should make that notice then. We had a good time with Tara. We had dinner with her the other night. It was really nice to be with her and Amy Tucker, former associate head coach.
Yeah, Kate was around for those titles in 90 and 92, and then it took a long time to get back, winning that 3rd championship in 2021. And now making the move to the Atlantic Coast Conference after being the dominant force for decades in the Pac-12. Here's Nunu Aguera, their leading scorer, bangs that one off the back.
A matchup problem because Kate Pay can dump the whole playbook on her. She can play 1 through 5 offensively, and they are working on her on the top of the floor, initiating offense as well. She's a hybrid.
Hayes for 3, got it.
Now Madison Hayes knows how to get herself organized in the slot. Again, take the ball inside, fill behind the penetration, and you get a good look.
Substitutes out there now for Stanford, including Mary Ashley Stevenson, Tess Heel, 2 transfers coming onto the floor. Quigley, a lot of contact, no whistle, and it will go to the Card.
Nunu Aguera can play in the pinch, which is on the elbows in the middle third. But look at this skill work right here. Footwork and the handle. Madison Hayes in this small lineup for NC State playing in the 4 spot is usually overmatched by size, but not by toughness. That's a big bucket right there by Nunu.
And Aguera has checked out of the game for now. Courtney Ogden is in there for the Cardinal.
Second personal, number 10, Isaiah.
And that is 2 personal fouls on Isaiah James, in trouble now for NC State.
Zoe Brooks in for the Wolfpack.
Zoe Brooks will return, but the State star is out, perhaps for a long time.
Yeah, she'll be out unless this becomes more than a 3 or 4 possession game, I think, depending on the rhythm of NC State's offense.
Ogden on the drive, drops it off. Stevenson wraps, and Trieger clears.
You know, Mary Ashley Stevenson played for the great Doug Feinberg, one of the best AP writers in the history of women's basketball. She's from New York City.
Yep. Transferred in from Purdue after 1 year with the Boilermakers. Hayes blocked by Stevenson and stepped on the end line. 5 turnovers in the quarter for NC State.
This is good defense right here. Mary Ashley Stevenson, we're just talking about her. Moves her feet and contests.
Quick first step. Ijiwoye draws a foul on Zoe Brooks. That'll be her first.
35, Zoe Brooks, 13 foul.
Ijiwoye will go right back at her. Brooks with a block from behind. Zoe with her head up to Rivers. Sanaya. Oh, she had Trigger, and Trigger did not cut to the rim. And it's another NC State turnover. Hey, here's our men's college basketball Tuesday slate for you. We'll start with a top 10 matchup. Texas A&M, Kentucky. Then it's Miami taking on Cooper Flag and Duke. And Baylor, Arizona, a Big 12 nightcap.
Cooper Flag and those 42 points yesterday, an ACC freshman single game record. Must-see TV. See what he can do next. Miami's having a down year. He might get 50.
Who are your women's freshmen to watch? I know.
I like Jelani Cambridge.
Yep.
At Ohio State, a lot of people are talking about her. Of course, Sarah Strong at Connecticut. Everybody knows her.
She almost had a triple-double yesterday.
There's a lot of good freshmen out there.
UConn, by the way, yesterday, that was a win without Paige Beckers. They hope to maybe have her back this week. Inside and one, Tess Hill.
That's where that perimeter size comes into play. Once again, not on the glass only, like we mentioned earlier when Bozgana got a great offensive rebound. This is Tess Hill doing a tremendous job getting to the front of the rim. Zoe Brooks committing the foul, and that's her second.
So that is two starting guards for NC State out with fouls.
So you look at the lineup on the floor right now for NC State, and you've got to believe Sanaya Rivers has got to make something happen.
Their top two scorers done perhaps for the rest of the first half. And so now all eyes will turn to number 22 in red right here with the ball.
You know, I know a lot of coaches go with the 2-foul rule. I'm not sure Wes thinks that way all the time. So let's see how the game goes.
Here is Rivers, the senior from Wilmington, North Carolina. Maddie Cox off the ball fake, misses the layup. Held ball will stay here.
Courtney Ogden getting in on the defensive glass. It's a good take by Cox off the bounce. Maddie Cox, the younger sister of the All-American from Baylor, Lauren Cox, who played for Kim Mulkey and won an NCAA title. Coach Mulkey had a big win this week at Tennessee. LSU undefeated.
Yeah, Tennessee able to bounce back today after losing 2 in a row. What are we? We're down to LSU undefeated, Ohio State undefeated, UCLA at the top. Can hold for one here for the Cardinal.
Ijiwoye has really grown in her game. I mean, she's hit a couple threes now. Kate Pay trusts her in this scenario right here. They go to horns. High-low game.
Forced up the three. And Aguirre able to track it down, but the shot not up in time. 18-12, Stanford at home and in front over number 21, NC State. Of course, Brink off to the WNBA. Tara enjoying her retirement. Kiki Iriafen transferring to USC. So this is pretty much a new group of Stanford Cardinal. The two new starters in the lineup today, 11 points in that first quarter, Debbie.
It's impressive what Kate Pay has done in such a short time.
Now they just got to start stacking up the wins. So 1 and 3 in the ACC. Aguirre couldn't get that second chance opportunity. Cox in the trail position, has to give it up. 2 starting guards out for NC State with foul trouble. Their top 2 scorers sidelined right now, and Rivers hard off the back iron.
Well, it's going to get tougher to get points in the paint against Stanford's defense because they're sagging on the inside and they're playing the NC State personnel really well. Right now, you got to know where Madison Hayes is. She's the best three-point shooter on the floor, but everybody else you pinch and get a piece of the paint on defense.
Here's Hayes, 21 in red. An NC State bench that barely played against Cal on Thursday, called upon early today. And that's a turnover.
It's so hard sometimes for tall women to play the game low to high, but that's an example right there. If you play the game low to high, when the double team comes, you're ready to make the play. That was almost a triple team. See, they're just going to keep sagging and pinching to the paint on defense.
Peel. Oh, they had a Garrett. Now she's one-on-one, but doesn't even look to the bucket. Dimitri stripped by Rivers, and it went off Brooks' leg and out of bounds. And both sides struggling right now with their ball security.
Well, Sanaya Rivers knows she's got to play up-tempo on the defensive end because she can make some plays down there to help NC State get some easy opportunities on the offensive end. There's the switch.
Collier trying to end about a 5-minute scoring drought, and they will.
Really nice job by Collier. Good step through and better patience to avoid the double team and make her move quicker.
Under 10 on the shot clock. The skip pass to Aguera, and she was on the sideline.
You can put Dimitri or you can put Nunu Agara in that pinch. And down here, this is the way you got to attack Nunu Agara. You got to put some fouls and some pressure on her defensively. She's too good offensively.
Rivers probes, pulls up. Here will run. Ijiwoye. They gave her a free look, and now it's Rivers. Collier wide open, a missed assignment and a layup for NC State.
Mallory Collier.
How about Collier doing her job?
Big minutes, and now points off the bench for Mallory. Good movement without the ball. Tess Heel from Dimitri. Lacey Steele getting some playing time, and the assist there to Madison Hayes rattles that one in.
And now the Wolfpack looks like they got a little offensive rhythm, playing inside out, and Madison Hayes with another triple.
Hayes with 8 to lead all scorers this afternoon.
This is where Nunu Agara, I think, is so dangerous right here. Look at this. Boom.
Trying to get something going after a 1 of 5 shooting start.
To the pinch. A staple of Stanford offense. A big that can make plays on the elbow. She is so tough.
Talking to Kate Pay pregame, said she is just scratching the surface and learning how to play as the woman, as the go-to and the first option for Stanford. It's something new for her this year. Hey, how about next Saturday's ACC Network men's triple header? And there's a look at the game starting at 2 and taking you through the evening on ACC Network. But for Nunu, the sophomore from Minneapolis, who can play all 5 positions for Stanford at both ends of the floor.
I mean, she is so talented, supremely gifted offensively, has a work ethic. Kate Pay says she's coachable. She has a high IQ. She played her high school basketball in Minnesota with Paige Beckers.
Rivers going to work inside.
Sanaya Rivers.
Can you see what the upperclassmen are doing right now for NC State? It's Rivers and Hayes and Collier.
They're 4 of 6 here now in this second quarter.
They can hang in there with Brooks and James on the bench with foul trouble.
And they force the turnover there. That's Collier getting a hand in a passing lane.
Sanaya Rivers downhill. Once she rebounds, look at this athleticism, the length, the finishing ability inside the paint.
Collier with some confidence down on the low block.
3 for 3.
And NC State takes the lead for the first time today.
To see how long Coach Pay can go without Nunu. Up there she goes. Right here comes Nunu and Dimitri back in the game also.
Stevenson short. What a showing for the NC State bench here with their top 2 scorers out of the game. Steal the triple, that won't go. They totaled 16 minutes and 2 points against Cal the other night. And there's Clardy with a drive. Puts the card back in front.
Only one starter on the floor for Stanford right now. That's when Rivers has got to be aggressive at looking to attack a closeout on a skip. I don't think anybody can guard her on a one dribble move. You know what I'm saying, Beth? Over the top, swipe it and go.
Coming up on the Jeep Halftime Report, Shea Cornette, Andrea Carter here with you. We'll catch you up on Notre Dame, who's playing without Hannah Hidalgo, how they're faring against Clemson, plus a historic comeback by Pitt. We'll dive into that. But in this game, NC State's top 2 scorers right now in foul trouble. And so Mallory Collier, I feel like, has been involved in every single play somehow, some way.
She has. She's been active. She's had great hands. She's finished on the inside, averaging 4 points on the season, already with 6 points in the game. That's what it looks like to step up for your superstars when they can't be on the floor.
Okay, you just need a little bit of depth. That's all you need in this one so far. It's a good one. We'll see you at the break.
Yeah, ladies, she might be flirting with a new career high, which is 10, as Rivers scores inside. Mallory, by the way, +5 for plus minus while she's been on the floor today.
And Zoe Brooks back on the court, and Ijiwoye knows that she can't pick up another foul and drives it right at her. Got to have some help from the weak side on that drive.
So Zoe has returned playing with 2 fouls. Isaiah James, their leading scorer, will stay out with 2 fouls.
Zone by Stanford.
4 minutes to go in the half. Steele gets the 3, and the bench continues to flourish for NC State.
Let's see how long Coach Pay stays in that zone. I think it's a good look to play zone against NC State. You got to make them prove it outside the 3-point line.
Just 3 of 10 for Stanford, by the way. One of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. They've been quiet from downtown in the first half.
And without Isaiah James and Madison Hayes on the floor, I would throw some zone at NC State.
The kick out, Aguero will try for 3. Rivers with the weak side rebound.
Got to sprint. When Rivers rebounds, you got to run the floor hard and wide.
Krieger the kick out. Maddie Cox for 3. NC State a shade under 70% shooting here in this second quarter. Wide open look. And they continue to stay cool from outside. Thought Elena would go again there. Off the bounce, takes it the whole way. Can't knock it down. They are 3 of 10 now in this quarter. Rivers frustrated that there was no cut coming from the weak side. Brooks, got hung up in the air, wanted to pass, and then had to shoot it.
Brooks can make that 15-footer like in her sleep. I mean, she comes off that ball screen, and you're trying to get to the nail or to the elbow, and she does a great job getting there, but she did have to change her shot midair because Trigger was slow on the roll.
And an offensive foul called on the screen for Stanford.
First personal number 21, Brooke Dimitri. First team foul.
That's the first on Dimitri, just the second of this half for Stanford.
Slides in the path of Rivers, trying to shoot the gap.
Both these teams amongst the best in the country at not committing fouls.
NC State leads the nation in that category.
It's been the case so far. Here's Krieger. Double comes. Cox, good ball fake. Tess Heel, under 2 minutes to go in the half. Guerra, 1 for 6 so far on the day. Open look for Ijiwoye.
Somebody's got to stop the ball here.
Skip pass, Lacey Steele, got it!
That's beating Stanford at their own game. What a pass by Madison Hayes over the top. And Lacey Steele making a couple of triples.
Huge production for her. Getting some quality minutes with the foul trouble.
And she's a player that didn't get many minutes last year, but stayed and kept working. One of the things that Westmore has really appreciated about her is her work ethic, and she is an explosive three-point shooter. Can get going in a hurry.
Things getting a little sloppy. And Ijiwoye passed up a clear path to the rim, and the pass goes out of bounds.
This is excellent ball movement by NC State. Run the floor hard and wide. It's a great skip over the top, and Lacey Steele catches it in rhythm. She only had 4 triples coming into this game. She's got 2 here in the first half.
Oh, good fake. On the drive, count it, and Rivers a trip to the line.
Stanford looks a little fatigued right here. Nunu Agara looks like she's tired. She couldn't fill the lane on that last play, and then she's behind this play and commits the foul. And 1 for Sanaya Rivers. You could see her confidence level grow when Isaiah James picked up that second foul and went to the bench. Sanaya Rivers and Isaiah James, along with Madison Hayes, know this is their team.
10 points, 5 rebounds in the first half for Rivers, and it's a 9-0 NC State run. Half a minute in this first half.
James has only played 7 minutes for the Wolfpack.
They have taken away the 3-ball from Stanford, their best weapon. Kate Pay was worried that they might settle for jumpers a little bit.
I would throw a zone back right here. This is zone?
Looks like it. Boskina jumps into the passing lane. The bad pass from Cox. And gets the layup at the buzzer.
What a play by Boskina. An uphill, lazy pass by the Wolfpack against the zone. Are you kidding me? What a play.
34-28. NC State on top, but the good finish for Stanford as we get you back to the Jeep halftime report with Shay and Andrea.
Thank you, ladies. Yes, welcome into the Jeep halftime report. Shay Cornett, Andrea Carter here with you. And as we focus in on this game that really was back and forth, you saw each team kind of go on a little bit of run, get comfortable here. What will you be looking for in the second half?
Well, a great play by Elena Boskina at the end to give Stanford just a little bit of energy going into halftime after NC State went on that run. But both teams so far playing well without their leading scorers. Top 2 leading scorers on both sides haven't produced much offensively. So I've been impressed by the others, as you would say, some of the bench players, some of the non-leading scorers that have produced offensively on both sides. I'm looking to see which leading scorers start to take over. Will it be Agara and Boskina for Stanford? Will it be Brooks and James for NC State? Who's going to step up and take over offensively? And then for NC State, can they get out and run in transition? They do that so well. And for Stanford, can they knock down some threes? They do that really well. Both teams have been limited in that sense.
Right, and NC State has completely taken away the 3-ball from Stanford, so we'll see how that shakes out here in the second half. In the meantime, let's get to the game. Rivers getting involved here, and maybe we want to see a little more of her. NC State with the lead, 34-28. The Jeep halftime report.
This halftime report is presented by Jeep. There's only one.
Star. 36-25 at the break in that game. In this game was Ghana a steal and a layup, 34-28 for NC State. What will Stanford do in the second half? Because they have not lost.
Back here on the farm at Stanford, where NC State leads the Cardinal 34-28. Foul trouble for the Wolfpack early in this one, but the bench came through huge. They outscored Stanford 22-13, while NC State's leading scorer, Isaiah James, was on the bench.
Yeah, she only played 7 minutes after picking up those 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, and Westmore told us he needed more out of his bench, so maybe the 3 days out here helped them get some practice time that allowed the bench to be more productive, because when they came into the second quarter, I thought Mallory Collier changed the game for NC State. Her first touch was a double team. After that, she got single coverage. She went one-on-one inside. She went 3 for 3 from the floor. And then NC State, when they run the floor after they rebound, they will get separation from Stanford's defense. Just a nice job of the skip and the inside-out work to set up the three. Collier and Lacey Steele, 12 bench points for the Wolfpack.
They held Stanford in check from downtown, one of the best in the country. Quiet in that first half. Speaking of quiet, so was Nunu Aguero.
Nunu Aguero, 1 for 7 from the floor, and she has to get her engine going early. She's got to rebound, she's got to be on the glass, and she's got to get up the floor in transition and make her skill set a factor against NC State's defense.
And this is what was going on before the start of the quarter. All the shooting from outside the arc for Stanford, trying to find their way after just 3 of 14 in that first half. Winner of this one not only picks up a conference win, but a quad 1 win as well, which is significant. It's a new metric in women's college basketball for the selection committee to use. And another piece of data that they can go through to determine who's in and who's out. So here we know about the net. That's been around a couple of years. Strength of schedule, the eye test, head-to-head, all still significant. But new this year is the quad wins, and the quad 1 wins are the ones you want.
It's just a great way to help the fans understand some of the analytics that the committee will use. Now, the men have a different set of numbers. They've been in the quad business for 7 years. This is the first year for the women.
Cleaning it up for the lay-in is Nunu. Let's see if that gets her going. We talk about the NCAA tournament already for Stanford because they have gone 36 years in a row as NC State hits the triple. And right now, Charlie Cream and his bracketology has Stanford on the bubble, and they've got some work to do in January and February to keep that streak alive.
Well, they got some work to do guarding the ball right now. Kate Payne might burn a timeout here. She is not happy with the way her team has started. Yeah, she's going to burn one. I think it's a good timeout. Not a good start out of the locker room by the Cardinal.
NC State hits its first 3 shots to extend the lead. We will have that on the schedule, Mike.
Good to see Mike.
Enjoying summertime down in Australia, doesn't it? Feels like summer here. Beautiful day at Stanford. A good start to the second half for NC State.
Right here, look at Nunu's got to go to work right here. Shoot it or drive it.
Yep.
Trieger playing way off her.
And instead, they're going to give it up.
Second personal, number 21, Brooke Dimitri.
That's part of what Kate Payne was talking to us about before the game, Beth, about Nunu Agara having that new role, having some responsibility, being that go-to on the top of the scouting report.
It's a different ball game. Brooks just inside the line. 9-2 run to open up the quarter for NC State, enjoying their biggest lead of the day. Bosgana muscles that one up and in with the left.
I love that entry to the pinch post. Like, that's where Stanford makes a lot of plays. I think that's their advantage. I think everybody who catches on the elbow can score or get fouled.
Trieger Pitches it back out. Brooks for three. Nails it. Zoe with a couple of buckets in a row.
Zoe Brooks gives you the rope-a-dope. And then all of a sudden, bam, something happens.
She only played 7 minutes in that first half as well with
She
foul
can
trouble.
lull you to sleep off the bounce.
They got Brooks and James back on the floor with fresh legs, and James from Brooks. And the onslaught continues.
They're just getting whatever they want right now against Stanford.
They hit their first 6 shots to open up the second half. And a rebound and run here for Rivers.
This is where you learn something about your team, right? You're going to just settle and take chances, or you're going to keep the pressure on in your transition game.
The crowd sensing they need to help Stanford here, a little lift to boost. 4 shots and 2 turnovers in this quarter.
Yeah, it feels like Stanford's offense is just slow developing right here. Like, they are not very much a rhythm team.
Guerra spins away.
And she's looked to be aggressive the last 2 trips.
Yeah, you'd think she'd be able to take Trigger to town. Brooks off the cross, pulls up in the short corner, and Zoe Brooks has the hot hand right now.
That's the rope-a-dope right there. Little crossover, little lull you to sleep, make your defense shift a little, make you stand up.
Rivers knocks it loose. It'll stay here with Steve.
NC State's transition game has been fantastic to start the second half. They have been able to get up the floor and beat the Stanford defense and get behind them like this play right here. NC State 7 for 8 to start the second half. Brooks has had the ball in her hands the last 3 trips up the floor.
They had a lot of time to sit and watch Brooks and James in that first half. The bench bailed them out, did a terrific job. And now Zoe and Isaiah going to work again.
It's a little bit better cadence right here by Stanford.
Ogden. Clardy, the shot clock winding down.
Good take, good call by Kate Pay off the bench. Attacking Isaiah James off the bounce for those 2 fouls.
Hayes, Rivers unattended. Hitting a couple of threes, even though that's not usually in her wheelhouse.
Just enough to stay dangerous.
8 of 9 now shooting in the quarter. Meanwhile, with this end, everything seems to be hard work. There's a nice play, Garrett to Stevenson.
Back to the zone. They haven't been able to set their zone. NC State's been scoring in transition.
Skip past James. No, Guerra with the rebound. Ogden. This is the pull-up that NC State couldn't provide.
NC State running the floor hard and wide.
As a resident of Southern California with first responders in the family, amazing work going on. Yes, the firefighters, the police officers, the paramedics, all those men and women flying the planes out there to drop water and retardant on the fires in Southern California.
It's a horrible tragedy to watch unfold.
And you can help with your donations, redcross.org/ESPN. Here in Northern California at Stanford, Beth Mullins, along with the Naismith Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli. ACC matchup, and NC State in control. Big start for them to this second half, hitting 8 of their first 10 shots to open things up. And what can Stanford do to try and work their way back in it? A missed layup there.
Mary Ashley Stevenson doing a good job right there. The twist action in the middle third where she sets a screen, twists her body to set another re-screen, and then the dive down the lane line to offensive rebound to keep the possession. Good work by the transfer from Purdue.
another foul call offensively on a screen. I believe that's the 4th of the game against Stanford. Working against the zone here, Brooks. The dribble drive to the nail. Collier offensive rebound, and she was fouled.
Mallory Collier just carving out some space inside. What a game for this young player to build on for NC State. Collier, the 6'3" sophomore, comes into the game and off the bench. The last 3 was 4 for 5. She's done a nice job with her minutes today.
NC State trying to salvage a split on their West Coast road trip. They lost to a ranked Cal team on Thursday. Collier spinning into a double team. Short Rivers offensive rebound. They've got a chance, David, to go on a nice little run the rest of the month. 5 games on the schedule. They'll be favored in all of them before they play Duke in early February in that Play for K game. We'll have that one for you on ESPN2. Monday night football continues into the postseason. It's wild card weekend, and we'll have the Vikings and Rams for you, a game that was moved from Los Angeles to Phoenix. Monday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN+. Peyton and Eli will have the call for you on ESPN2. Houston and Baltimore winners already as James scores inside.
Good interior passing, working out of that short corner or dunker spot.
Three ball is good from McGarrett.
I think Stanford has picked up their rhythm offensively. I think they're looking to play a little bit with more pace in the quarter court. Now they got to get some stops on the defensive end.
Yeah, NC State close to 70% shooting here in the third quarter. Collier now 2 points away from a career high for her. She's got 8.
They're just getting whatever they want, Beth. NC State is just dialing it up right now.
McGarrett will try again, back-to-back, long rebound to Stanford.
It just feels like there's very little resistance by Stanford defensively. And Kate Pay has tried man-to-man. They've tried zone. They can't keep the Wolfpack in front.
And we talked about how good the backcourt was for NC State. They've been showing it today. Ping-ponging around. Bob's gonna foul by Rivers.
Really good unselfish play by NC State on the baseline. Rivers dumps it off. James through the contact, keeps her focus and scores, and then a beautiful drop off by Zoe Brooks into the hands of Mallory Collier, unguarded and wide open.
14 assists now on 25 baskets for NC State.
And they came into the game with 46% of their baskets assisted. Very much a team that plays off the bounce, but not many fouls called in the game. NC State has only made 1 trip to the free throw line, and Stanford's only made 2 trips.
We talked about Stanford being on the NCAA tournament bubble right now. For Wes Moore's club, NC State is on the host bubble. Of course, in the women's game, top 16 seeds get to host first and second round action. So they too are trying to work on staying at home the first weekend of the tournament, if not getting even higher up the standings in the ACC and in those net rankings.
Well, then you start talking about the ACC tournament before that, and you're talking about double byes, and only 15 teams go to the ACC tournament out of the 18 in the league.
With the addition of Stanford and Cal and SMU. Corner triple, and NC State right now out shooting Stanford from downtown.
51% for NC State. And 50% from the three-point line.
Of course, everybody in the league looking up at Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish, the lone unbeaten in the conference. And they were playing this afternoon against Clemson without Hannah Hidalgo. And they were able to pick up the win, led by Leah Tu King. So the bracketology with Charlie, that's what he says for these two clubs. Charlie's number ones right now, UCLA, USC, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. South Carolina, big win over Texas today. Don't forget, coming up next over on ESPN2, Texas A&M and number 10, Oklahoma. And that's going to be a push-off whistled against Agara.
Third personal, number 3, Nuno Guerra. Fifth team foul.
And that is the 5th team foul on Stanford, so 2 foul shots coming for Isaiah James, who's a 78% free throw shooter. She scored 29 against Stanford last year in the Sweet 16, had a tremendous tournament. Only Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers were better than James was scoring. And a reminder, we got men's college basketball coming your way on Tuesday. Top 10 Showdown, the featured event, Texas A&M in Kentucky, 7 Eastern on the Deuce. NC State with 30 points now in the quarter, doubling up Stanford. And they've opened this one up.
They had 34 at the half.
Brooks, under a minute to go. Trigger will try for 3. Look at Rivers flying in to get the rebound. James keeps the dribble alive, goes to the left hand.
Now that's where the length and the athleticism and the determination to get on the glass. That's the separator for Sanaya Rivers and this NC State team. When she rebounds, she impacts the game so much in so many different ways on both ends of the floor.
Turnover here, and a return to the lineup for James and Brooks in this second half, giving them a nice boost. They are 1 basket away here from matching their total output from the first half and doing it only here in the third.
Sanaya Rivers' draft stock in the WNBA, to me, keeps going up. I mean, she's a two-way player, and when you get to the WNBA, you're not going to get a lot of shots, but you can impact the game by rebounding, playing D. She can guard ball screen coverage and action. Here she is, and she can do this right here.
Looking for the assist to Brooks, short. It's going to be a foul on Stanford on the box out.
Second personal, number 22, Mary Ashley Stevenson.
Tremendous balance here from NC State. The bench helping out in the first half, and an explosion here in the second offensively, or in this third quarter.
And for Stanford and this NC State team, it is really tough to press the Wolfpack because they have the ability to put 4 guards on the floor. They can handle, and if you open up the court to the speed and athleticism of NC State's playmaking ability, you're going to have some trouble on the backside.
9-0 run.
I don't know how I'm going to handle that. That's going to be pretty emotional for me, but I'm grateful to Boo Corrigan and Stephanie Minio and Wes Moore and the entire basketball organization in NC State Athletics. It's quite an honor. There's not many people up there, and the ones that are up there are ones that I have a lot of respect for, including my coach, Kay Yao.
What is it, 40? Is this 40 years behind the mic?
37.
37. You know,
29 with you.
your stats were good. As far as you know, but you know, it's what you've done over here courtside that's been a lot of fun over the years to be a part of.
Are you getting serious on me? Because I was going to say, I mean, I'm the greatest non-stat starter in NC State basketball history.
Gillespie,
No
chance.
chance.
Went to the Final Four. Trigger with the layup.
I was the only player in the history of NC State basketball to get a technical foul from the bench.
Yep.
I was the first player to not have to wear high tops. I convinced Coach Al that I'd be faster if I had less on my feet. And then, you know, the non-stat starting thing.
As NC State runs it the other way. Probably the greatest thing we can say about you is how many of your teammates have their jerseys up there. That is the true test, right, of a good teammate.
That's right. There's 2 of my teammates up there, plus my coach. So thank you all very much for that honor. It's quite an incredibly grateful, humbling experience it will be in Reynolds Coliseum on Thursday. and my whole family will be there.
Shout out to Muggs and Peg for putting up with you all these years.
And
Mom and Dad will be there to celebrate. And your sisters.
are you going to give my sister Denise and Katie? Well, I call them Party and Starter. Those are their names. But also my husband Frank and my 3 boys, Joey, Frankie, and Patrick.
Big third quarter for NC State, spilling over into the fourth as they look to pick up a quad 1 win on the road here against Stanford. It's been a struggle for the Cardinal to get anything going offensively. And the 3-ball, which has been a huge weapon for them all year, hasn't been around. Dimitri knocks one down there.
Including Dimitri, who had 24 in the game against FSU and had 5 triples in that one. And then Brooks showing a little flex.
This kind of effort, as Agara scores inside, would certainly help out a long flight back home overnight to Raleigh. Something that obviously Stanford and Cal have to deal with. 4 road trips back east during the regular season in ACC play, but also for the teams that do have to come out here, like NC State. A long week on the road. Thursday night's game would have been real late night for them on the East Coast.
10 o'clock p.m. Eastern start. I think all that's going to get worked out eventually with the way the landscape of the game is, as Stanford scores 3 consecutive times down the floor. Now they got to get a few stops and put some game pressure on NC State.
See if they can make things interesting here. A little threat, 7 minutes to go. Start calling out some things. His 12th year now at NC State, 36 years as a head coach. And here come the Cardinals. Looking for 3 on the break. Agara, offensive rebound, blocked by Rivers, and a held ball will stay with the Cardinals.
Sanaya Rivers leads this team in steals and in blocks. This is just good movement without the ball right here by Stanford. Hands down on a shooter. And Stanford got a little rally going here.
And one opportunity.
Nice take on the baseline by Nunu Agara. Good finish through contact.
Collier will depart. Lorena Awu, the freshman from Illinois, will check in.
You know, I think you're right about what you said before about Westmore, and second active in wins behind Gino Auriemma. 14 times he's been a coach of the year in his 36 years as a head coach. And West started back at Maryville College, then he went to Francis Marion Division II, and then spent 15 years at UT Chattanooga. This is his 12th at NC State, and man, he's done a wonderful job. That's a Hall of Fame resume right there.
James will go coast to coast for 2. So tough, as you alluded to pressure this team with the ball handlers and the quickness that they have.
I honestly wasn't expecting this, Beth. I thought that Stanford would show a lot more resistance, especially here at home where they had not lost all season. 9-0.
9-0.
And NC State, you know, played a really good Cal team. Sharman Smith has done an excellent job at Cal. Her team,
Stanford person,
who really competed hard on Thursday night. They got some good three-point shooters, and NC State didn't guard the three-point line very well. I thought that Stanford would give them some problems there, but they made those adjustments. That's why Westmore has won as many games as he's won.
Party off the bounce. 20-point game. 5.5 to go. Ooh, almost picked. And Hayes is fouled by Baziano.
There's a lot of NC State fans that love Madison Hayes. I mean, she's got her own fan club as far as I'm concerned, just because she's more than the glue. She has great understanding. She guards out of position every game. She can make threes. She plays with an incredible joy, passion for the game.
11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for Hayes. They've got 4 in double digits, and they're getting a little sloppy here down the stretch. And the door opening a bit for Stanford. Ijiwoye missed the layup.
Yeah, Ijiwoye has a brilliant future. And Kate Pay want to play a little foul game here.
First personal number 6, Shea Ijiwoye.
Second team foul.
Team foul. Cox and Trigger in for the Wolfpack.
Right now, the Cardinal looking at their first home loss, and then they've got to figure out what's happening on the road, because they will leave here, let's see, it's Sunday afternoon, they'll leave here Tuesday with games at Wake Forest and at Duke on Thursday, Sunday. So when they have to travel back east, it's almost a full week they're gone. Looking for another 3. Zoe Brooks has it. They also have road trips to Notre Dame, Louisville, and Virginia Tech. Still remaining on the schedule.
Notre Dame by far is the team to beat in the league. They are tough. They are balanced. They're getting healthy. Sorry to hear Hannah Hidalgo didn't play today, but I'm sure that's short-term issue with her with an ankle injury, and hopefully she'll be back soon. Because Maddie Westbelt's gotten healthy, so they got her back in the rotation.
Hopefully it's a big week to have Hannah back, to possibly have Zam Jones back here for NC State, and certainly Paige Beckers at UConn.
And Stanford just quietly chipping away right here.
A one-and-done trip. Crowd urging them on to score quickly. Oh, Ijiwoye had it, passed it up. A gasp from the crowd. Vazgana scoops it up and in.
How about
Timeout, NC State.
How about Stanford putting some game pressure? Just enough on the Wolfpack to force the timeout.
14-2 run for the Cardinal, and they are putting some pressure on NC State. A little lethargic for the Wolfpack with a 27-point lead, and Stanford has slashed into it.
I think Wes Moore would call it chilling. Like you're just out there chilling. I've heard him say that in practice before. But right here comes the full court pressure. Now this is how Stanford got back into the game at SMU, even though they did lose that game on the road. Their press did bother SMU, and it could bother NC State. The problem is NC State's got this backside scoring ability with great guard up front. Wes Moore can put Madison Hayes on the backside of pressure, and she can be a three-point threat as well, Beth.
Just picked apart that press. Trieger with the lay-in, and now a steal and a takeaway. And NC State can work that clock. 3 minutes to go.
Got to stay away from the corners. Got to keep the ball in the middle of the floor.
Not a good free throw shooting team, by the way, NC State, if it comes to that.
Zai James working to get open. Good D over there by Stanford.
5 on the shot clock. Trieger for 3. Here comes Clardy. Vazgana will take it all the way and lay it up and in.
Trieger's got to run to the rim right here and not jog through the middle of the floor. Right, at 6'6", she should be a good receiver, but she traveled. I don't know why you'd give it to a 6'6" person in that situation.
I think because she was the only open person across midcourt. But you're right. Should be looking for Rivers, or Rivers should be looking for the ball coming back to it. Can Stanford capitalize? No, they cannot. Intercepted by Rivers.
Making a smart choice right here. Take a little time. Run some clock.
2 minutes to go.
Got to stay out of the corners. got to move the ball here if you're NC State. Stanford does have a foul to give.
Brooks pulls up from 15. Offensive rebound, Hayes, and a fresh 30, or a fresh 20. Brooks working on Aguera. Can't hit that one either. 3-on-2. Heel finds a shooter. E.G. Warrior in and out.
So it was a good little burst by Stanford here to make it a game, right? To put some game pressure.
Had some possessions. But NC State has the guards.
Well, run a little four corners here, Beth.
Are you allowed to do that at NC State?
I think you are. A la Dean Smith and Phil Ford. I think you can call it that.
Held ball will stay with State. 5 on the shot clock, under a minute to go. Five in double digits today for NC State. Terrific play from their bench in the first half when there were foul problems. And then a huge third quarter for NC State to open things up. 17-9 for Rivers today, 15 for James, 14 for Brooks.
I think one of the turning points in the game was the second quarter. NC State's bench behind the play of Mallory Collier and Lacey Steele, who scored 12 points in a stretch where Isaiah James and Zoe Brooks were on the bench with foul trouble.
Rivers will get the double-double, her 10th rebound of the ball game. And Sanaya, let's check Debbie. Yep, Sanaya Rivers will play the full 40 minutes for the second.
She ought to sleep good on the way back to Raleigh tonight.
They'll be home this week against Pitt and Virginia. Trying to stay a game behind unbeaten Notre Dame in the league. Duke and Louisville also right there in the mix. Georgia Tech. Heel at the buzzer, and that'll do it. NC State, a quad one win on the road for the Wolfpack as they defeat Stanford 81-67. 5 players in double digits, and Sanaya Rivers with the double-double today. 4-1 now for NC State. The Cardinal will fall to 1-4 in the ACC. And the quest will continue now in the last couple of months of the regular season for NC State to try and get a top 4 seed. And for Stanford, they've got work to do to keep their streak alive of 36 straight trips to the NCAA tournament.
Sanaya Rivers was absolutely fantastic for the Wolfpack. Double-double for Sanaya, who led when Isaiah James and Zoe Brooks went to the bench with foul trouble. She got active on the glass, off the bounce, in the paint, doing a fantastic job of making plays to allow NC State to separate, to have an 8-point lead at the break.
81-67, the final score, so a nice road win for the Wolfpack. And for Sanaya Rivers, Sanaya, we've got to start foul trouble in the first half. And how about the effort of Mallory Collier and Lacey Steele?
Amazing. Obviously, 2 of our big starters got into foul trouble early, but that's what we've been wanting from the bench all season, just for them to come in ready. Mallory gave us big minutes, Lacey gave us big shots, so that's all we can ask for, so it's great.
When you rebound the game is at a different tempo for your team. How important is it for you, especially when Isaiah and Zoe were on the bench with foul trouble, for you to start to take over, you and Madison, at that point?
Just to preserve my energy. I know the team asks for a lot from me, but that's what it comes from being one of the leaders of the team. So having to rebound, push the ball, kick it, score, it's a lot, but I know my teammates have faith in me, and obviously they did a great job helping me because I played 40 minutes, and when Lacey came in off the bench and Mallory came in with big minutes, that definitely helped me rest a little bit. And then Zoe and Zai came in big time in the second half, so I'm just glad to see that they bounced back.
I know you're not resting on the defensive end. I don't know where you're talking about resting in game.
I didn't get any. Not this game, no, not at all.
You guys had a tough stretch early in the season.
Yes.
You know, high expectations off of the Final Four a year ago. Now you've won 8 of the last 9. What has been the difference for you guys trying to find your way after last year's success?
I think just playing together. I feel like last year we had, I don't know, a lot of people that could score. We lost a lot, and I feel like people just thought that they had to do it by themselves. But I think that once we play together, have fun, run a transition, nobody can guard us in transition, and that's our bread and butter. So now that we're starting to get into that and push the ball, I think it's really going our way. So
the balance that comes with points in the paint and being able to knock down threes.
Yes.
You went against a Stanford team that is known for shooting a three, and you guys did a good job defending the three. How about your game outside the arc?
1, 2 for 2.
Hey, that leave me open. I'm going to shoot that thing. I've been working on it. I told you I was working on it during the summer preseason. If my teammates have faith in me, then I'm going to shoot it every time. And it felt really good coming off my hands. So.
They're going to keep going under, and they're going to learn a lesson.
Yes,
I think you're going to teach somebody something by the end of the season.
Yes, ma'am.
Around the country, everybody talking about teams on the West Coast having to go east in the ACC and the Big Ten, and vice versa.
Definitely.
What was the biggest challenge for you guys, and how did you handle the long road trip?
Lord, just adjusting. It was a 5-hour flight. We're about to catch another 5-hour flight back home. I feel like just adjusting to the time change. It's 3-hour difference, so just getting the rest, and I don't know, I'm going to get some good rest on the plane. I'm going to be knocked out the whole 5 hours. For sure.
The 40-minute woman, Sanaya Rivers, 40 minutes at Cal, 40 minutes at Stanford. You guys go one-on-one on the road trip. Congratulations on the win today.
Thank you so much.
81-67, the final. NC State over Stanford. They get to 4-1 in the ACC. The Cardinals drop to 1-4. For Debbie Antonelli, I'm Beth Moens, our entire crew. Thanks for being with us. Now we'll get you with them, Shay and Dre, in the studio.